Hello friends. Welcome to the New Level TT channel where all table tennis secrets are at one place. Second part of positioning lesson is the final piece of puzzle for effective training of schematic exercises. Problem many amateurs have is wrong spatial awareness. Because players focus too much on their playing hand, they often do not understand importance of other body parts. This leads to huge problems with techniques and transitions between positions. In this lesson we will share another original theories and models that will dramatically change your perception of the game and explain the biggest misconceptions in our sport. Stay tuned for bonus Christmas present at the end of the video. Well, sharpen your pencils, students. Revelations are waiting. The lesson is divided into following sections. 1. Model of aiming substitution. 2. Model for position adjustment. 3. Conclusion and small surprise. Right from the start, listen carefully. Another game changer. In table tennis, your movement should be planned with non-hitting hand in mind. When you are trying to do position adjustments according to a game situation, always start by thinking about reach of non-dominant arm elbow. Okay, we can hear you. So here follows the explanation. Players behind the table can be represented with their stroke span. We already told you that baseline of the stroke span is created by connection of forehand and backhand habitual hitting points. Perception of this baseline highly affects players' ability for positioning and proper backswing of the strokes. Main problem lies in the mental manipulation of this line in your head. You can imagine it in two ways. First one is to rotate semicircle from playing arm elbow. This is natural way the mind of a player perceives reachable space and adjusts arm for covering of incoming ball trajectories. This way you obviously can reach both ends only with forearm. But in reality, adjustment of body position based on the angle of this line with respect to its center point is what makes positioning difficult. Moreover, reach on the backhand side is highly limited because your other hand cannot hold the paddle. Second approach is to rotate this virtual catching line from the center of sticked out non-dominant forearm. Then make turning adjustment from this point. Leading non-dominant elbow along this catching line makes huge difference to your game on many levels. This slight shift of mental focus immediately corrects form of your strokes and stance, keeps you balanced with low center of gravity, improves your backswing habits and timing, and speeds up your transitions. We named this approach aiming substitution. It is obvious that the role of non-dominant hand in table tennis is very misunderstood and undervalued topic. Many coaches consider it just as a supplementary tool for keeping balance. Once you start feeling space through the aiming substitution, you will use it as your most valuable tool. This is so important for all-rounded player. Now, let's draw the model of aiming substitution in more detail. Virtual extension of non-dominant hand for catching the ball on both sides automatically creates space for forehand strokes. Thanks to virtual footprints of points where we want to meet the ball, the timing of your shots will be very consistent. You can induce from the model that covering of the space with this method feels very flexible and self-correcting. If we use this method for development of spatial awareness, together with the approach and energy focusing principles that were discussed in previous videos, we can quickly build our players very solid base for their future growth. Huge problem of the typical approach that is often misunderstood is that use of playing hand have no positive effect for proper positioning of the rest of your body. Actually, your body is regularly creating unpleasant obstruction for you to reach and cover the backhand corner of the table. So, think about it for yourself and share in the comments which approach your mind is probably using. In the part 1, we briefly mentioned NLTT adjustment model. This model deals with relative position of the feet and stroke span alignment. It helped with visual fixation of many great habits. So here it is. The model is prepared for right-handed player. Based on the careful observation, you should notice few things. There is dashed line perpendicular to the left foot and a forehand natural line of play. Center of the blue stroke span baseline points to the heel of the anchor foot. Anchor foot aims at the ball hitting point at the forehand side. This will define our basic ready position. If we start positioning this model around the table surface, we can see that the feet are moving to different spots. This change is extremely pronounced in the case of covering forehand side. Notice terminology. There is major difference between ready or neutral stance and ready position. Stance is combined form of our lower and upper body. It is the kind of fixed posture. Ready position is the placement and orientation of our feet. It governs where we need to stand to optimally cover angles of incoming ball. It is variable factor based on adjustment model of a player. Some coaches are claiming that there is no time to get into the ready position after returned ball. This is apparently not true. Let's test the theory with Van Dorn in the similar game situations. Before we conclude this lesson, let us tell you that there is much more to topic of positioning. To keep the lesson at appropriate length, we skipped explanation of transitioning, anticipation, zone-dependent footwork patterns and much more. We are trying to unveil only the most critical aspects of the game. Lot of other things come naturally after some amount of mindful practicing. To summarize, our friends, these two models alone are keys to the doors that for many players have been locked for so many years. Every player is different, and table tennis is constantly evolving. Of course, there is not only one correct way to do things. We are extracting common factors that characterize the game of the player and bringing you many behind-the-scenes secrets. We are aware that in our lessons we are often giving you parts of the source code written in the language you are not used to, but if you devote enough time to study our materials, you will be rewarded. As one wise man said, "Pleasure of finding things out is the most beautiful gift of nature." Now, if you have kept watching until this point, as we promised, we have also a gift for you. This is the diamond pattern, another food for thought. You are looking at simplified model of the opening pattern that world number one uses very frequently. Why do you think we called it diamond? Answer this question and try to find out how is this pattern working. The author of the most accurate answers wins t-shirt with the new level TT original design we are working on.